All right, all right. We got IG. We got YouTube in the building. What's going on, family? To IG. Of course, we got YouTube. Today, I just really want to come and kind of chop it up, especially with YouTube. I know a lot of you all been missing some of the good stuff we've been talking about. So I want to bring a few questions I've been getting from, especially people on IG. It's really about how do I get the motivation? How do I do it? How do I, going vegan is hard. Okay, we know that. Okay, vegan is not the easiest thing. Great, especially in the South, especially if you've been eating meat your whole life. Now, we got some people who might think otherwise, but I want to say that I agree. So for the people who feel like they need motivation, or people who feel like they need, I get a lot of, how do I get confidence? Where do I get my confidence from going vegan? Well, what people don't realize, and what I teach or what I used to teach my clients, is that confidence comes from a place of knowing. That's all that is. So, for instance, a lot of people are trying to maybe make another extra couple dollars or something. I don't know. Maybe they want a side gig, but they have a hard time doing that because they don't know what to do. I don't have the confidence to go out there and get another job because I don't know what to do. Or for me, for instance, I have, what's going on? London in the building. I love it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people have been, I don't know, they've been stripped away of their confidence. They've been stripped away of their, and that's especially in veganism, because they're listening to their families. All right. Their families are telling them you shouldn't be doing this, or they make fun of them. They tell them they got grass outside for you to eat, which is BS, by the way. But a lot of people are losing their confidence because they don't know. They don't know of anybody else who's doing it. And that's why I want to do these live chats. So you got like an outlet to talk to. You have somebody to speak with. Even like I'm slowly getting into like other things like real estate. And so even if I'm not training over here, I still want to come here. I still want to come in and speak with the family and say, look, we're still a vegan family. We're still here to love on each other. I'm not going anywhere. And that's why, because I want to make sure we have an outlet. I want to make sure we have people who are, I don't know, I guess people who are actually, being able to share the same story, because I've been there. Okay. Trust me. You see, you are my spirit animal. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good thing too, because that means you are a beast. I love it. I love it. Because, we think alike. If you saying that, we think alike. But yeah, this is how we do it. And a lot of people who are coming in to kind of like the space of veganism, they're not realizing that there are tools. There are people like me who are creating outlets for people to come and ask questions. I don't care what kind of question you got. I get questions from how do I fix my menstrual cycle, to how do I save more animals, to how do I get rid of diabetes and cancer, and how do I lose fat? How do I gain muscle? How do you get your B12? Okay, and you know how I do. This almost all of those questions I solve with this. But for the most part, I've created an outlet so that new vegans can come in, whether you're here for the health, okay, whether you're here for the animals, whether you're here for the environment, no matter what it is, I'm here to do that, because a lot of people are lost, man. They lost. All right. So I want to just see where I'm kind of live streaming at a weird time. It's like 10 a.m. where I am. So I just want to know who all is in the building, who's all here with me. Let's see. Got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We got some good numbers at 10 a.m. It's an off time. I know people are working right now. Elizabeth said, I got to know you through Mama Rosa. I love Mama Rosa, right? Like crazy. That's like literally like my second mom. Okay, when you say Mama Rosa, that is my lady right there. Really good lady. But those of you who don't know who Mama Rosa is, she is a beast in the kitchen. Go to YouTube, just type in Mama Rosa. Mama Rosa got like 150,000, probably 200,000 now. She has like 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, so you can't miss her. Just type in Mama Rosa, ROSA, and trust me, her recipes, just some of the stuff she talks about, Really good stuff. So I'm glad. Oh, great question. So somebody just asked me 2 days ago, maybe even three, about vegan protein shakes. So you just asked me, Elizabeth, about protein shakes. And this is something that I've been meaning to make a video on. So I guess I'll take this time to do that now. Because I like to let you all know that it's coming from my head. This is not something I go and put together some studies. This is coming from the head, from my knowledge. Now, I had somebody ask me about Shakeology. All right. Now, Shakeology is pretty popular. They do have vegan. I think they have 2, maybe 3 vegan flavors. I think. Don't hold me to that. Let me make sure I'm fixing this. All right. Now, Shakeology is not the best protein shake to take. Why? Because based on what I've seen, and they may have revamped since I've seen it, but just like a lot of other protein shakes, and I'm going to kind of break this down, just like a lot of other protein shakes, they don't have the enzymes to break down the protein, which means it's going to stress your kidneys, it's going to stress your liver, and it's also going to put stress on your remaining enzymes. Okay, so a lot of times the body will pull enzymes from other areas to help digest the protein. Not only is it going to stress those areas, but you're also going to, when you put in protein, enzymes break it down so that it can be utilized and put into the muscle. So if you're trying to build muscle, the enzymes break it down so that you can use it for building more muscle. Well, when we take these shakes that don't have enzymes, and let me just say this, go and look at a protein shake. I don't have a can in here, but look at the back of the ingredients. If it does not say protease, sit it down. Because protease, Protese, Protase, okay? Protease. I think I spelled that right. Don't hold me to that. I need to see it. But protease is the best, it's not the only, but it's one of the best enzymes to break down protein. And if you do not have protease in your protein, it is not being dissolved, broken down, or absorbed correctly. So I'm not going to, yes, I am. So I wasn't going to name some of the companies that don't have protease, but I've looked at Sun Warrior, does not have protease in it. Shakeology does not have protease in it. There's a few other ones I can't think off the top of my head, but some of these do not have protease, and I wouldn't take it, just to be honest with you, unless the protein says this is a fully packed protein on its own. It hasn't been cooked, denatured. If it's still in its full form, then more than likely it still has the enzymes that it needs. But when it's heated and broken down and then put back together in a powdered form, you have to add those enzymes back in as well. And if they don't have the enzymes listed, then there's probably no enzymes in it. Okay, that's just how it works. So if I had to, because I actually don't take protein shakes right now. Like for the last, I'd probably say for the last 3 months, 4 months maybe, I haven't been doing any protein shakes. And if I do, it was maybe like very small amounts to just either get rid of some of my protein that I had stocked up on, or it was just to, I don't know. I maybe like I had a client or something and I wanted to test something on. But most protein shakes, I just don't want to deal with. If I had to go back to taking a protein supplement, it would definitely be Elite Green Protein, which is just chlorella. Chlorella has a lot of protein, and they use other things, but it's chlorella. But me personally, I would not take Vega. That's just me. Garden of Life, pretty good. I like Garden of Life. I like the taste, especially if you get the Sport is really good. They have some really good ingredients in the Sport, and it looks like they have the enzymes together. That's just off the top of my head. I could be wrong about some of the other ones. Maybe they've revamped their, because I've been talking about this for a while. So maybe somebody has heard me say that they don't have enzymes in it, and now they're wondering, should they be putting enzymes in their protein shakes, which they should. So that's just how I'm rocking. For those of you who are wondering, like, man, you don't take protein shakes, so what do you do? I don't supplement much of anything. And right now, as a matter of fact, I'm slowly going back raw. So I'm pretty much fully, I'm definitely going to be fully raw, but I try to still incorporate a few cooked foods because I get cold. All right, it's cold where I am. Actually, today it's gonna be 70 degrees, which is crazy, but I get cold. So I make sure that I do my thing. Give me some raw fruits, vegetables, but I go back and have a little cooked food because it keeps me warm. I'll just be honest. Let me see. Queenie the Virgo, that's my girl. Is saw palmetto the herb needed for glute building? I think that's what you mentioned. Yeah, saw palmetto is pretty good for growing the glutes. Now, what I will say, this is not a magic pill. Okay. And the reason why I have to say that is because I get it a lot. If I tell, like, people see me drinking this, somebody say, "What is it? What are you drinking?" They'll look at me and they'll just instantly think that whatever I'm drinking is causing me to look the way I look. Your skin is beautiful. It must be the drink. Your body looks great. It must be the drink. You got abs. It must be the drink. You got muscles. It must be the drink. That's not how it works. Okay. Same thing with saw palmetto. Just because you take saw palmetto and do a couple squats doesn't mean your butt's going to grow. You really have to get it in. Every girl when I go to a very hardcore gym here in Nashville, and every girl that I see, every woman that I see in the gym who has a nice butt, and I can tell if it's like a built butt that you worked on and you build it yourself, or if it's a butt you just kind of like genetically had. A lot of women, just fall into a nice butt and they're like, oh, I don't really work for it. But if you really work for your butt, I can tell based on the way you look. And the women that come in the gym where I work out, when you see them working, they work hard. I mean, they bust their butts trying to get that, nice shape butt. So don't think saw palmetto and 100 squats a day is going to build your butt. I mean, it kind of will, but it's not going to get you what you want. You got to go in there. You got to give it some stress. Okay. So I see a lot of women, even when I was building women's butts, we got our best results by doing 4 to 5 exercises per session just for the butt. So that can mean squats, deadlifts, kickbacks. We would do what we call fire hydrants. And then I would even have them do other things like glute bridges. We'd do glute bridge. We'd do those 5 for about 3 to 4 sets each. Then we would do that 3 times a week at least. Okay. So a lot of women are like, oh, I do squats every day. That's not going to work. It's not going to do what you want it to do. So, so that's kind of the thing behind that. So, okay, you say, okay, I'm going to start lifting. Got cheeks, but I need a lift. And that's what's going to happen when you get in there and you do your thing. They lift. You're right. So, and it's about frequency. So, like I said, make sure you're doing it more and more. Okay, progressive overload. I always thought saw palmetto was a supplement for men. Yes, that is definitely the stigma put out on saw palmetto. And this is just based on my experience, based on my studies, based on the doctors that I've worked with, whether they were teaching me or whether they were just, suggesting that women take it. Saw palmetto is good and known to be also good for women who have things like fibroids. So if you have an over surplus of estrogen, which is usually the reason why you have fibroids, then you might want to take you a little saw palmetto. On the bottle, it absolutely says it's for men. Yes. But here's what I try to tell or like teach people. When we're dealing with nature, in most cases, there are some cases where it's just for men and just for women. But in nature, in most cases, no plant, I can't say no, I don't want to generalize this, but there aren't many plants in nature that grow only for one gender, if that makes sense. And saw palmetto is a natural plant. It's a saw palmetto berry is what it is. And so although we say it's for men because it helps to balance out the hormones, especially the testosterone, women can take it as well, especially if they've been eating too many estrogen causing things. So that's pretty much what that is. So of course, I love my lady. So keep doing your thing too. I'm watching you from afar. All right. How do you feel about supplemental nutrition overall? Um, it just depends on what it is. When we're dealing with supplements, you just have to be careful. Just to be honest with you, and that's kind of why I get on here and I talk about these things and let people know who don't really know the difference between some of these supplements, and they don't know better. They're just being duped by people who know how to market stuff. And that's the biggest part about it. Some of these people are really good marketers. That's what it is. People are really good marketers. So when they market this stuff to you, especially when they bring out the guns, they hire people who are your favorite IG booty models, and they push this stuff, and all you see is what they look like or what they're doing. 9 times out of 10, they didn't even take the stuff that they're marketing to get there. So the marketing is good, and then we go buy it because what we see. So I'm coming here to kind of like help you all to fight through it and look through some of the ingredients and say, okay, maybe that's not the right stuff I should be taking. Tay says stay away from this. I'm going to look that up because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to take what I'm saying and then go research on your own. That's kind of how I do it. So yeah, so when it comes to supplements, I try to stay as natural as possible. And the reason why is because a lot of times when you take something, you put something in the body, usually, depending on what it is, the body stops making that thing because you're giving it, like testosterone. So people who take testosterone, like synthetic testosterone, when they take it, the body stops making it. That's just kind of how it happens. So, okay, you got it? Cool. All right. So that messes up a lot of people. So a lot of times, other things happen the same way. When you start giving the body things that it makes on its own, it stops making it. So that's kind of why I'm like, some supplements, no. Pill form vitamins, no. I definitely would not take those. None of them. They don't seem to really break down and absorb because your body doesn't know what a pill is. There are some companies that are, getting it under wraps, but it's not going to be in a pill form. It's usually going to come in a gel or a tincture, like where you stick it in, you push the little tincture, and then you put some drops in water or whatever. Those are going to be the supplements of the future. Those are the ones that actually have what you need. So like I'm drinking my vitamins right now in my Magic Moss. That's what I do for me personally, because that's how I get my minerals, and it helps me tremendously. So that's what we're talking about on that level. I've heard from I heard a lot from some vegans and vegetarians in terms of supplementing for meat replacement. Omega, no. Don't worry about. See, these are people who are either uninformed, not of their fault. It's not their fault, but they're telling you you have to eat to replace things in meat because they can only teach you what they've been taught. So for all of my people who are going vegan or who are vegan, and let's just say you're wondering why you're just now learning about veganism, it's because your mom and your dad didn't know how good veganism was. So they only taught you what they were taught. So some of these people are only teaching you what they know. I can only teach you what I know. Same thing. But if I know more than the friend and the friend knows more than the mom, then who's right? If that makes sense, So who do you listen to? And in my case, you don't listen to anybody. All right. You take a little bit from each one of them and you go do your own studies. And that's for you too, YouTube. Do your own studies. But omegas, if you're trying to supplement omega, we got sea vegetables. I just told you I'm supplementing mine now. I got sea vegetables in here. Okay. Magic Moss. I put kelp in it as well, and dulse. So I got a little bit of everything in there. So my omegas are in there. If you're still trying to get omegas, you can also eat other things like seaweeds from the ocean. You can do hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. You can get these healthy fats from other things. A lot of people, we need B12. Great. B12 also can come from the ocean. Okay. I'm telling you all this, and this is why I drink it. So you all know, like, I'm not bull crapping. Okay. I'm trying not to cuss so much. I'm not playing with this stuff. I get it in different ways. Though. I don't take vitamins. supplements. I don't take like those pills. Don't do it. So there are different ways to get in your quote unquote meat replacement vitamins by doing certain vegetables and fruits. And then on another level, people don't realize we get a lot of our we create a lot of vitamins from the sun. It's not just vitamin D. B12 is also a lot of B vitamins can be synthesized from the sun, depending on where it is. So you just gotta do some little studying. That's all. Let me go to YouTube. I got some questions on YouTube real quick. I want to answer. Let's see. I get confused with sea moss and Irish moss. Plus, please, could you tell us what the difference is? So when you're dealing with sea moss and Irish moss, in essence, Irish moss and sea moss are kind of the same thing, but the way I break it down is it's different strands. And the easiest way to put that is it's like weed. Okay, so marijuana. So if you think about marijuana and you say, oh, I smoke marijuana. Okay, some people are cheap and some people go get what did Cat Williams call it? Huckabee. Some people got a bag of Huckabee in their pocket right now and they're smoking the cheapest weed on the planet. All right, so that's kind of how this, and then at the same time, you got people who smoking blueberry yum yum, or I'm not a smoker, so I don't know all of the names, but some of you could probably help me out with this. But people are smoking like the good stuff, the ganja, the what do they call it, the sour diesel, all of these, crazy things. They're smoking the big boy stuff, and then you got people who smoke Huckabee. And that's the same way Irish moss versus sea moss and all these other things. That's the same thing. You got different strands. So you got some people who are paying, 10, 20, 30 bucks for like a pound of Huckabee Irish moss. And then you got some people who pay upwards of $100 for some good. That's me. Okay. I'm going to pay for my body because the Huckabee is not really doing much for me. So I go get the good stuff. So it's just different stuff. So, you got Chondrus crispus, and then you got different Irish moss that are like leafy forms. So it's different strands that come from different areas. I always suggest you get it out or get it from the Caribbean. That's one of the best places. All right. So that's what I do. So let's see what we got. I'm going to stay here. I'm super excited. I just saw something flash by my screen. Oh boy. I guess I'll share it with you. So before I answer the next question, so I'm in real estate, of course, and I've been working on reaching like some of the big boys because I'm trying to buy 170 apartment units right now. And that's going to be a huge deal if I can buy. That's an apartment complex. And I reached out to a guy at Bigger Pockets because it's basically, for those of you who don't know, it is a huge like place for like people who invest in real estate. And the leader of Bigger Pockets just emailed me. It just flashed across my screen. So I kind of got a little excited for a minute there. So, all right, so we're going to get back to it. So somebody said, I took red raspberry leaf pills. That's excellent for cramps and fibroids. Yes, it is. Red raspberry leaf is super good for women's. It's not just the menstrual cycle. It's just good for the sexual organs of women, period. Red raspberry leaf is great for that. So, yeah, that's super good. Let's see. I agree with the sun nutrients. If I feel a little bit sick, I go in the sun. Yeah, immediate feel better. And it's true. And the sun also leaches toxins out of the body. So when somebody just sits in the sun and they start smelling, they have toxic waste inside of them. So when they start smelling just by sitting in the sun, it's because the sun's pulling all that shit out of them. Excuse my language. I'm trying not to cuss. But yeah, that's what's going on. So are you for or against soy? Definitely against it. I know a lot of men are against consumption of it. Yes, I am against soy for the biggest reason, because I've done my own studies with soy. Okay, so people pull out, oh, this study shows that soy is okay and it actually blocks estrogen and this and that. Well, the reason I don't necessarily listen to those studies is because we also have studies that show, oh, red meat's good for you. Oh, here's the dairy industry. That's really great. Dairy is shown to prove, to cause this, and that to help get better. No, dairy is not. Dairy is bad. All right. Meat is bad. But you got all of these studies showing that it's good. It's just like soy. So what I do is I follow the money. Okay. Soy is a big player in this country for money. Okay. It's subsidized, just like a lot of the other stuff. So I just kind of stay away from it. Okay. Not just because of that, but I've done my own studies, not with just myself, but I've had hundreds of women that I've worked with, their menstrual cycles, things like that. And when we take away a lot of things, we give them fruits, vegetables, their menstrual cycles get great. And they're like, man, this is amazing. I'm not cramping. Like my fibroids are shrinking. I feel great. Can I have soy again? Sure. You feel good now. Go ahead and eat you some more soy. As soon as we bring the soy back in, boom, here comes the cramps. Here comes the estrogen. My fibroids are growing again. Okay. I also spoke with a 40-year-old vegan. And let me say, I said that wrong. I spoke with a lady that has been vegan for 40 years. And what saddened me, I was doing a lecture actually, and she came in and she was like, I've been vegan for 40 years. And she's like, but I had to stop. I had to go back to eating or taking in cod liver oil because, and she was eating liver. And I was like, oh, why would you do that? It hurt my heart. But she's like, I had to because I developed fibroids, and the doctor was telling me that this is one of the ways to get it back or get rid of it. And I'm like, so in front of all these people, I asked the lady, I said, okay, you've been vegan 40 years. How long of those 40 years did you eat soy or take birth control? She said the first 20 I was on birth control, and the rest I was eating soy. I said, did you have fibroids, around birth control? No. Great. But that started it. I can guarantee that started it because it messes with your hormones. Next, she was like, yeah, but I started eating soy for the next 10. She didn't say the whole 40, but she's like, for the next 10, yeah, I was eating soy. And, I developed fibroids and they were pretty big. I said, okay, that's estrogen. Okay, I know that. I said, were you eating anything else, taking anything else? She was like, no, everything else was pretty much fruits, vegetables, things like that. She followed Dick Gregory coming up. So she had the game. So when she was saying all of this, I'm thinking to myself, soy, estrogen, fibroids. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm sold. Not only did I do these experiments with all of these ladies and myself and my mom, but now I'm hearing a lady who's been vegan 40 years who still developed fibroids, and she was eating soy. So I just cut it off. All right. I don't even want to deal with it. There's no study you can show me now to make me think otherwise. Not only that, my teachers, the Dr. Africas, things like that, they all say for the soy. So I don't deal with it. And I had the chance to actually live with Dr. Africa for a period of time when we were down in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico. And I see every day what this man eats. He wasn't eating soy. All right. So that's kind of my take on that part. So let me see what else we got. How about vitamin D? I am low in that vitamin, living in North Michigan, no sun, the whole. Yeah. Now, vitamin D, and they came out with an article about vitamin D. When we're talking about vitamin D, the article basically was saying and it was targeting Black people. They were saying the reason quote unquote Black people are vitamin D deficient is because, for one, we don't need as much as the standard. Okay, so the standard in the industry for vitamin D is different for white people, and that's really everything. So when you go in and you get your vitamins tested, they're weighing you against what white people need or Caucasians need. Now, this is nothing against racists, but what I'm saying is this has been propped up. Like the whole system has been propped up based on one genetic or one race. So when we're dealing with other people's races and they're weighing you against another race and their vitamin intake, it's not the same. So that's one. But two, what we were saying and we were talking about is dealing with cholesterol and other things like that. If you don't have the cholesterol, or if you don't have certain enzymes in the body, then even when you go out in the sun, you can't produce the vitamin D because you don't have the cholesterol, because cholesterol, it actually helps to produce, good cholesterol helps to produce vitamin D and things like that. So that's a whole nother story. I I don't really like to supplement with it. If I can't get in the sun, I eat things that lived in the sun, if that makes sense. So this is what this is for. Let me go down. So let's see. What is the product? What's the product that releases toxins from the sexual organs? What's the product you mentioned? So one of the products I mentioned that releases toxins from the sex organs is red raspberry leaf. Also, we use things like, let me move this light. It's messing with me. All right, there we go. It's still not right. I don't know what happened with this light. There we go. So another one, one is red raspberry leaf, but another one is I use the magic moss to pull toxins. It's something called algin. Okay, so algin pulls heavy metals out of like the organs, out of the digestive system, out of the body. So if you got something going on with that, then you can use algin to do that. So let me fix this. There we go. So you can use those two, and we've had a lot of good benefits with just using red raspberry leaf and magic moss. So too much cholesterol is what affects your vitamin D. So no, it's different types of cholesterol. So when you go in to have the LDLs and the good fats and the bad fats and the good cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, you need the good cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is what comes from the eggs and the animal products. Stay away from it. Good cholesterol comes from when you eating the right foods, the right fats, the right plants. Okay, you don't need meat. You don't need animals. Eating the right plants. When you have the good cholesterol, boom, you're setting yourself up to get your vitamin D from the sun. That's all that is. So no need to kind of, I don't want to say don't worry about it. You need to be worried about it, but just take different steps to get there. And I'm sure you'll eventually get to the point where because I don't worry about buying vitamin D pills and stuff like that. Seriously, I eat what's in the sun and then I try to get in the sun as much as possible. Usually that does the job. And then I asked the doctor something. See, I have a doctor that knows me. When I walk in, he's like, there's my vegan. I go in once a year. He knows me. And he knows we've talked about how to scale the vitamin D for my genetics and my race. So maybe if you can find a good doctor and see about scaling and see, ask them if they know about it first, because you can't assume all doctors know. Most doctors don't. So you might want to just do some research behind that and see if you can find the right doctor. Do you think some of the olive oil has soy in it? Yeah, they mix soybean oil and they cut olive oil with a lot of stuff. Once again, just like the moss. Okay, so somebody asked about the moss. And we talked about how the difference is just like weed. So when you're dealing with like marijuana, you got Huckabee and you got like sour diesel or like some good stuff. I don't smoke weed, so I'm just naming some stuff that I hear in rap songs. Okay, but you got some good stuff and you got some Huckabee. That's what Cat Williams called it. Some bullshit, basically. Man, I'm trying to stop cussing. Sorry. I cuss like a lot, but I'm trying to stop. Okay, but those two it's just the same thing for olive oil. It's the same thing for a lot of stuff. So you got olive oil that's like, it's still expensive. It's like $8 a bottle for a small little bottle. Then you got like a $30 bottle of olive oil. Now it sucks because if I get olive oil, I go buy the $30 bottle. Why? For one, I don't cook it. So when I take in olive oil, I'm either mixing it in a tea or something, or maybe drinking a little bit for the polyphenols. That's really what one of the biggest things is. So that's one thing. But you just got to be careful because they cut a lot of stuff. How do you detox from immunism? That's another level right there. I ain't even gonna talk about that. I don't even want to say that word. When I saw it, I was like, oh no, because that's a hot topic. Okay, when you talking about when you talking about taking different, I don't know. I just try not to. I try not to go there. Vaccines and this whole it's not good. It starts a lot of arguments. I don't want to talk about it. to detox away from them, things like that, you might have to just go talk to a naturopath, or if we were in person, maybe I'd talk about it. But I can't do that here. That's gonna get me in trouble. All right. How do you spell Algin? Actually, I don't know off the top of my head. That's a good question. Like I said, I have to see a lot of stuff written down. I don't have a pen on me, but just research Algin in. Go and Google Algin in sea vegetables, and more than likely, what'll pop up is like Conjus crispus or something like that. When you see that, then just research Algin, because it should correct the spelling in Google. But yeah, that's I try to stay away from those vaccines and stuff. It's crazy. But I need to get out of here because I told my lady I was going to take her out to lunch today. So I think it's looking pretty nice outside. So I'm going to go out, take my lady out for lunch. We're going to go do a little vegan. Actually, we're going to a Jamaican spot here. Of course, they do a lot of vegetarian, vegan stuff. So I'm going to get me some Jamaican food, chill with the fiance, and just, see her back off to work, because, I work from home, so I'm chilling. Then I got to go do some real estate stuff. So I love you all. I'm glad I got to come in and talk. I'll be back soon. So I'm going to be doing this a little bit more, especially on YouTube, because I miss YouTube. So everybody have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.